right, good morning on this Friday, April 13th. Let me just quickly recap yesterday's trade that I gave you right there in the morning as the market was penetrating through the prior day's high. Okay, as you recall, I had two posts yesterday. One at 9:40 some a.m. in the morning, giving you that trade setup right in the morning to go long, and then I updated it about 11:30. So again, yesterday's trade was based upon this real nice pullback down from the high, dropped into a support zone, right? 50 bar exponential moving average, created the inside bar, right? The low was higher than this low, the prior day's low, and the high, right? The high was lower than the prior day's high. Plus it was a real tight range, which makes this type of trade a phenomenal trade setup. Now, I love these type of trades on the bigger time frames, such as the daily and the 60-minute charts, because the moves are real powerful. So, again, we were looking to go long as soon as the market traded up through the high of 1370.5 to 1370.75 on the E-mini S&P 500 chart, right? Now, of course, you had this on the YM as well, right? They're all the same, right? You have an inside bar there as soon as the market took out the high of 12,785. You go long, market ran, as you can see. NASDAQ, yes, not as good of a setup. It wasn't as tight of a range. So the E-minis are great. Now let me just point something else out. Remember, you've heard me talk about the SSO, right? That's an index ETF. The SSO is tracks the market, right? The S&Ps, but it's 2 times the fund. So you see the chart looks almost identical. That trade would have been, if you want to trade your IRA account, I mean, you could trade the futures in your IRA account, you just can't go short. So you use the SSO to go long, right, which is 2 times the fund, 2 times the index rather, and the SDS is the reverse. So that goes, right, down in prices, the general market goes up. Okay, so the SSO, your long trade would have been at $55.66, one penny above the high. So now let's take it to the chart, the 3-minute chart that actually got you in, and just update this trade real quick. Now, if you recall, if you play yesterday's videos again, you'll hear my profit objectives and my entries. But the trade occurred at 9:48 in the morning at 1370.75 at 9:48, right here. What bar was that? Right in here, right? That was the long at 1370.75. And then I updated you midday. First profit objective took it 1 times the range, right? The range was, right, the range of Wednesday right here, right? The range. That was 8 points in the E-minis, right? High 1370.5 minus the low of 1362.5, 8-point range. 1 times the range is 8 points. So 8 plus your entry. 8 plus 1370.75 is 1378.75, which hit right on this, right when it broke up right here. 8-point profit there. Then, as you recall, I had a midday update, moved my stop up to 1373, right below here, 1373.25. Then it ran up. Then I moved my stop again up to below this low right here where I'm pointing to. Right? My second objective was 2 times the range, right? So 8 times 2 is 16, right? 16 plus 1370, right? 16 plus 1370.75, which was the entry, puts you at 1386.75, right? Now remember, when it moved up and took out this high, I moved my stop even further up to here, moved up, came down. Once it took out the high, I trailed it up again. Now remember, I did point out that it was more of a swing trade, but again, your profit objectives could in fact be hit the same day. So the first one was hit right in here, and quite honestly, look at the high of yesterday. Look at the high of yesterday, 86.25. It missed the second profit objective by 2 ticks, right? 50 cents only. Let's take it to a overnight chart. This is the overnight chart, right? This is where it closed at 4:15. Look at this right here. That was the high last night. 1388.5. 88.5. So your profit objective was hit overnight. That's where we're at. This is the entire night session. It's traded down off that level. The low of last night is, I can't get that right, 1377, and right now at 9:11, right, 19 minutes before they open, it's traded 1379.5. So 1379.5 is right down here, but it did hit last night. The 1386 3/4 hit, went to 88 and whatever I told you, 1388.5-ish. So yesterday was a really good trade. Do these trades, are they always this good? No, of course not, but they are high probability trades, and they are trades that I yearn for. I look for these types of trades in all markets, and I like to keep them to the dailies and like the 60s. Now, for day trading purposes, I also look for that type of trade setup, but obviously they're not as powerful. The bigger the time frame you use, the bigger the moves that you would expect. Of course, your risk is bigger too when you use the bigger time frames, as you all know. Now again, this is off of a daily chart, so your initial risk was, look at, you were buying at 1370 3/4, and your initial risk, as soon as the market took out that high and you were long at 1370 3/4, your stop immediately was placed at 1362 1/4. Okay, right below the low of that range. Now think about it. If you're stopped out on the day of entry, that becomes an outside bar, right? An engulfing pattern. Right? The market takes out the high, you're long, you put your stop right below that low. If the market reverses and takes you out, right, it would have exceeded the high and the low, and that's outside. It's an engulfing pattern. You'd want to be out of that trade. So the trade is really, really good. It's got great risk to reward potential, and your risk is very defined. So again, hopefully that helps. I hope the updates that I did for you yesterday helped you. I hope this one helps, and if you've got any questions, let me know. Have a phenomenal weekend, and let's have a profitable day, okay? Bye for now.